about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. Like the king, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality simple. Reality simple. My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. Like the king, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality simple.
I was reading this book called Coffee Culture, and it's basically talking about the farming and inequality and all that stuff going on, and with these societies that make and produce the coffee. And I'm beginning to realize something. And it was talking about the Mayans and how the Mayans in Guatemala were eventually forced to work on coffee farms, basically through manipulation and other things, through laws and regulations. And I just want to say this. I realized that, and then there was another story like in this book Coffee Culture about Europe and who they considered the poor in Europe or whatever during the time when there was a lot of rich folks. And the poor people used to be hunter and gatherers. So basically they took care of themselves. They had a lot of land. And what happened is that the government ended up taking that away from them and privatizing it. And then they really became impoverished. Basically to the point to where they could not now take care of themselves or nothing because their land was taken away from them. And this brought me to the conclusion that poverty is created. Poverty is a political, social, economic system. It is created. And one of the Horizon Irritated Genie, he had said this, but his is more of along the context of it's a European created, but poverty period is a social, political, economic system. It's created by the elites. And in this process, because the Mayans, they had their own land and everything. They worked their own land. They made their own living. They were fine. It wasn't until these laws and regulations, like they manipulated certain things to where the Mayans had to go, like were kind of forced to go based off of stuff that was going on in their community. And so they went to these farms seasonally. But then the government made some type of law to where it ensures that these people go back to these large plantations seasonally when needed. So they had these kind of laws and regulations that basically created this debt. So now they were in, quote unquote, in debt, which wasn't really true. But now they were in debt with these plantation owners. And so now, in order to pay off their debt, they had to constantly go back to these large plantations in the Mayans. And then after that, they started taking land and stuff. And then some of the Mayans fought against this, and they end up keeping their land and gaining more land. And then the government, the elites, caused a riffraff between the Mayans, amongst the Mayans, so it created this feud, this jealousy, because one had more land than the other, and some didn't have none at all. And then this feud caused even more impoverishment in the Mayans. And now, because of this impoverishment, now they are completely dependent on these plantations to make a living, since their stuff is now gone. And they also have really barely any education and none of that stuff. But reading this, it made me realize that poverty is created. And what one considers poverty is also subjective as well, because a hunter and gatherings technically are not poor people. If you have food on your back, clothing, and you can feed yourself, and you have land, technically you're not poor. But in Europe, they call these people poor because they were hunter gatherers. Technically, you're not poor. Nowhere in this world where a society is a hunter gatherer, or a society is a pastoralist, or a horticulturalist, technically they would not be poor or impoverished because they can take care of themselves and they're living fine. An impoverished person I consider someone who is like a beggar, like who has nothing, has no land, has nothing, and they like do like what you see some homeless people do on the street. They ask for food and ask for money. That's impoverished to me. You know what I'm saying? Or impoverished to where you're barely making it by, like you getting little chump change. That's impoverished to me. But when you're talking about a community or a civilization who have their own farms, or they're hunter gatherers, or they're horticulturalists, or pastoralists, or whatever, that's not poverty. These people are well fed, well taken care of by their own means. That does not mean that they are impoverished or poor. And since poverty is a social, economic, political system structure was created, technically, to be poor, you'll be either have to be a homeless person or a person who is barely getting by. Like by you being a part of this system, by you doing what this system wants you to do, like being a laborer, and they're paying you really nothing, you're a mere slave. That's poverty to me. But either way, poverty was created. It was not through inheritance, or because you were lazy, or because you were this, or because you were that. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with people's really has to do a lot with their history, the background of it all. It has to do with the context of how they became impoverished, not necessarily so much that they were lazy, or that they were this, or that they was that. But poverty is a political, social, economic structure. So knowing that poverty has more to do with the society, with the social, political, and economic structure, more than it has to do with the individual, because poverty was created.
What's good, YouTube, man? Lola TV Show 3. And today's topic, well, it's 5 a.m. in the morning. I don't know why I'm up, man. I'm playing Call of Duty. I ain't got shit to do, man. Being an economic slave, dig? Being a slave to the economics in America, man. And a lot of people are economic slaves, you dig? Not just blacks, not just Hispanics, also some whites, but mostly the minorities, blacks, Hispanics, you dig, are economic slaves to the government, man. You know, like this. If you're a slave, if you know, if you get food stamps, if you get SSI, you get this check. If you're depending on the government for your monthly check, monthly funds, you are a economic slave. I'm not saying that I don't have nothing against food stamps. I'm like, get your shit. I'm just saying, you still are. Cause if they could take it away. They can always take it away, and what the fuck you gonna do? That's when I'm like, you gotta have a plan B. So most people can't function without that. So you know, like I know there's a lot of black people do not have their priorities. They do not prioritize real well, man. They rather spend $200 on some fucking Jordans that came out 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago when I had them. Pay $200 for them, but they complain to the man at the white man at the light bill place. Can you give me an extension? The man gave you 55 extensions. Prioritize, man. Black people, we have our mind on material things too much, and that's hurting us now, and it's gonna hurt us in the future, and it has hurting us in the past. Get your priorities right. I'm not saying you can't buy a pair of shoes or a purse, but pay your bills first, you dig? everybody got bills unless you got it like that. That's cool. But you have bills, man. Niggas got water bill, light bill, car insurance. We got car notes. You got cell phone bills. Niggas got bills, and it's hard out here for people, you dig, to get even a decent living. Like I was watching CNN this last month, earlier yesterday morning. They was talking about it's no middle class America. It's just rich and it's just poor. And that's really, they was talking about one America, two economies, something like that. I'm like, that is, man, because it's hard out here. It's about to get harder. So if you got it, pay your bills, man. Take care of priorities first. Because you do not want to be an economic slave to the government. Because them fucking Republicans already about to pick who they're trying to run against the next Democrat when Obama's out of office. You dig? So you better get everything done while Obama's in office. Real talk. Stop going buying $2,000-3,000. Stop spending $500 on a Gucci purse or $1,000. Is it really that serious, man? It's economic. You got, what the fuck, man? Like, they're already fucking over us, man. Black people, we already been in a hole since we came here. Don't make no sense to put yourself in a deeper hole just trying to stay up with the Joneses. Look, oh, he got Jones. I'm gonna get the new ones. Like, you ain't gotta be in competition, man. You dig? I'm good. I'm an intern. I'm a paid intern, but I really don't have bills. I have my Sprint bill, and I have credit cards, but I really don't use credit cards. The only credit card I use is my Best Buy sometimes, but I don't have that. That bill mostly be like a $150, man. You know, but I'll be paying my shit off, man. You dig? If you gonna use your credit cards, pay your shit, man. Don't let that shit add up, you know. Debt, man. Now you're gonna be over your fucking head. You're gonna be upside down, and you're gonna be an economic slave to the government. They already run what we can do, and they already run that shit. Don't make it easier for them. I would not be a slave to the government for its economics in that sense, because I want to live free. I want to live comfortable. A lot of blacks and Hispanics, we don't live comfortable. We can't live comfortable because we always got bills. You always got debt. We always got this. We got to buy this. You always got to sacrifice something for this. You dig? We don't have wealth. It's a big difference between being rich and having wealth. A prime example, Mark Cuban, he has wealth. Magic Johnson, he has wealth. Who is rich? Let's take LeBron. Well, LeBron is rich, but yeah, he's rich. He's not a billionaire. He doesn't have wealth. He's rich, filthy rich, but he is not. It's a big difference. Wealth equals power. We do not have power, so we have to start our own shit. You dig? Prioritize, man. Do a budget, man. I'm not telling you how you spend your money. Do what you want. I'm just saying, because the shit is about to get harder. It's already fucked up for us now, but I'm just trying to warn you that the shit is about to get even harder for us, black man and black woman, and brown man and black and brown woman. You dig? Pay your bills first, man. Make sure your kids got something, you know. Make sure your kids good if you got kids. Make sure your family good before you try.
My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. Like Dr. King, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality's temple. Reality's simple. My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. Like Dr. King, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality's temple.